And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good morning and welcome to the Market Recap. Still Tuesday, December the 30th. My name's John Hoagland, as always. Thanks for trusting me with your time. We are at the end of an important trading day. We've got 2-3 more important trading days this week. CPI numbers came out today, indicating a slowing of inflation, but some pretty high inflation still. The market's knee-jerked in any direction. Stocks knee-jerked to the upside today, but did recover off those highs at the end of the day today. The S&P's closed up 30 points, 0.75%. The NASDAQ up about 123 points. Again, these are unofficial, about 1% higher. And the Dow only up 103 ticks, 0.3%. The Dow suffered a little bit today as far as the upside is concerned. Crude oil up another 3% today, closing at $75.39, up $2.22. So futures have priced in a 25 basis point increase in February. We're still expecting a 50 basis point increase in rates tomorrow, waiting for the FOMC tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central. The CPI numbers did, again, hint at slowing inflation, but inflation is still pretty high. Cooler heads kind of took stock prices back from the stratosphere after the knee-jerk to the upside today. It's a very illiquid move at 7:30 when that number came out. Traders and investors are going to reload this evening, waiting for tomorrow's FOMC meeting. It was still with a lot of economic numbers left to come out this week, finishing Friday with the quadruple witching hour. OPEC announced today that they're leaving the 2023 global demand growth forecasts unchanged at 2.24 million barrels per day, and in the same breath basically urged caution as it's cutting the Q1 oil demand forecast. So a lot of conflicting information in that. So we're going to take a look at the charts here shortly. It's good to see everyone. As usual, make sure you hit the lucky like button. Share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, love are always welcome. Tomorrow, we do have the market forecast in the morning. We will have group coaching. We will have Make Hoag Money at the end of the day, followed by the recap at the end of the session. Thursday, however, we're going to be a little bit short. We're going to do the market forecast in the morning, and that will be our only broadcast for the day. We won't be doing Make Hoag Money on Thursday or any of the other events live on YouTube. We've got a big meeting that we're going to be attending live, so we are going to be, of course, unavailable to produce all that for you. Friday, we'll have the market forecast as usual, and that'll end it for the week. Next week, the week before the holidays, we're going to be having the forecast. We're going to be having the recap. We're going to be having the coach's playbook, but no Make Hoag Money or group coaching sessions next week. And then, of course, the week between Christmas and New Year's, no forecast, no recap, no anything. Coming back fresh for the new year after the New Year's Eve parties. Hopefully you got some good plans with some good people for that. And good afternoon, everybody. It's always a pleasure to see everyone. Glitter Sandwich, it's good to see you. My guy Vince, a pleasure to see you. Spencer, hope everybody had a good day. Definitely some moves. Joe, you did but didn't, Miss Anne Marie. You can catch that session right on YouTube. It's recorded. It is ready for you to see it. It is on the live page. We've already had, well, there were about 180 people there watching it live. It's already been viewed 628 times. So you did not miss the whole thing. You can check it out anytime you want. Joe, we did I think a pretty good job of addressing your question and talking a lot about how the options can affect futures pricing. Mike Fry's, good to see you. The rooster crowing got crushed today. I'm sorry about that, rooster. It was very easy to be aggressive today, and I think being patient would have maybe helped pay that off for you today, rooster. But I do sorry about that. Keep moving forward. We're looking forward to your success, hopefully very soon, rooster. I'll say, Caesar, good afternoon. Scott, good afternoon. George. Lacey is, she's laying there under the Christmas tree. She thinks that she is a gift, and I guess in some degrees she is. Anthony, good to see you. Anissa, ZK, hey everyone. Hope you all had a good session today. Was finally able to pass step 1 today. Nice job, ZK. Great to hear that. Just keep doing what you're doing in step 2. Haggle Matters, good to see you. JD Royalty, Bill Phillips, Glitter Sandwich. You like the lights. Yeah, the 60-year-old icicle lights finally blew on me. They're not running anymore. So I just threw some other lights up there, and we're going to celebrate the holidays. Anthony reset step 2 today. Tried to catch a bounce. It happens. Good afternoon, Rick. Your brother loves you. Vince, let there be light, coach, right? Big Green today. Have a nice evening, all. Good to see that. Good to hear about that, Great Dane. If this is your first trip to the recap, don't forget there's the market forecast at 7:45 in the morning, but welcome. We're glad you're here. We're going to take a look into these charts. I did not turn on my overall light here, so I might look a little bit dark, a little bit different than I usually do, but hey, that's all right. The only reason I put that light on is because it helps hide the luggage under my eyes. Let's take a look here. We'll start with the daily in the crude oil market. And, well, we got a pretty decent move off this low. We added 3,700 in open interest on this push to the upside, a little bit higher volume. We'll see what kind of open interest we have tomorrow morning in this market. I'm going to be looking for an increase in open interest coming up to this weekly kickoff high, which really became supportive by the end of the session. We were unable to close the gap. We continued to push to the upside. We settled and spent most of the session above this level. So that marks acceptance of higher price, at least for now, for me. No spikes, no major issues here, just a normal variation day. Probably take a look here at the TPO chart. Where is it? There we are. Now we're finding them. And it's not even showing up here. This is strange. I'm going to restart this platform, see if it shows up for us now. There we go. Normal variation day. The lower extreme of the initial balance remained the low of the session. This is something we see quite often. Maybe we should keep an eye on that. We'll keep track of that, see how often that occurs. So in the crude oil, Low of the initial balance, low of the day, just kind of rotating higher throughout the day. And again, finishing holding above 75.30 weekly kickoff high. S&Ps. So we had a real big, fast, very illiquid stab up to weekly kickoff high, threw it by about 12 points, and then rejecting immediately. So we had an increase in open interest to largely be based on rollover. 140,000 contracts is a lot to add, and that has a lot to do about rollover. Our poor longer time frame traders today that are trying to just get a cheap roll really just, I think, he probably had a hard time of that today. Take a look at the 30. So overnight inventory was holding largely to the long side. 7:30, the number comes out. The market goes absolutely bonkers. Actually, it wasn't even the high of the session on that push to the upside. There's weekly kickoff high. Look, reject, back lower. Cooler heads prevailed as this market kind of absorbed slowing inflation, but still pretty high inflation. Check the naked point of control, check the weekly kickoff, kind of pushing back to the downside. I'm going to say thanks to Anne Marie, she got us into a pretty decent short during Make Hogue Money today, which was very nice. And the market really just kind of found its way to find some balance at the end of the day today. Here's the TPO chart. Look at all the holes. So the number comes out, rips to the upside, leaves all kinds of areas where the market didn't even trade at that in these levels. Little toothy there. There's our high. Comes back, opens, leaves the opening range at the absolute dead high of the session. Now, Fred asked about this morning. He said, do you think because we're out of balance, the opening range might be successful? Well, it wasn't necessarily. I don't know if it was in the crude, but it was certainly successful here in the S&Ps. 6-point opening range, 7 points of risk opened us to this kind of potential profit. If we were able to sit in that trade all day, we were able to really take advantage of that move. We're talking about over 100 points. That's some cash, ladies and gentlemen. That's some cash. Take a look at the NASDAQ. I haven't looked at the NASDAQ here all day. Here's the daily. Almost getting to weekly kickoff high before finding some rejection. Here's the 30. Yeah, it settled. It settled right where it was before the CPI number came out, right? Looks like the same thing here in the NASDAQ. I didn't put the profile on here just yet, but there we go. Here's 8:30 and 2:30, 3 o'clock. Same sitch. Takes a look up towards weekly kickoff high. Is that in the right spot? 12,410. No, that's not in the right spot. I got to move this up a little bit here. 12,410. Didn't get there. Turned around. Cooler heads prevailed. I got to take this off here. That is now checked in regular trading hours. Now we just got to wait and see what happens tomorrow, right? Lots of reloading going on for the FOMC tomorrow. Gold had a nice dive in the U.S. dollar after that number came out, but looks like it was unable to hold above weekly kickoff high. Take a look at the 30. So we got up there, and we rejected, and we fell into balance. Where? Last week's high. Just sitting there waiting for whatever's going to happen next. See if we bring in some open interest tomorrow. definitely come to the forecast tomorrow. We got to see what kind of open interest we added, if anything, in gold and the metals tomorrow morning. Here's the euro. Euro, nice continuation move, holding upside structure, adding, 23,000 contracts in open interest yesterday. Let's take a look and see what the actual was. That was the preliminary number. 17.5. We still had a nice addition to open interest yesterday. Here's the 30. P-shape, maybe a little short, but how did we add that open interest to the downside yesterday? I mean, this is where all the volume was, even though the volume wasn't all that tremendous. All the volume was to the downside yesterday. Maybe we did catch him a little bit short here on this upside move. 10-year, lower rates, higher pricing. Here's the 30. Here's the stab to the upside, almost coming about halfway back. And the natural gas does find and spend some time in an acceptance of higher pricing area. Take a look. Here's the rejection. Here's the new acceptance of potential higher pricing, finding support at the end of the day here, right at weekly kickoff high here. My goodness, these markets are fantastic and so fascinating to watch and to learn from, because it is a constant opportunity to learn and grow being a futures trader, being an investor in anything, really, because markets are always changing. They're always offering us opportunities to learn something new because they're constantly changing the questions. So always an interesting opportunity to spend a day sitting watching these markets. Today is Dick Van Dyke's birthday. If you know who Dick Van Dyke was, he was born today in 1925. Very, very funny man. He's a year older than my dad would be. 2003, Saddam Hussein was captured today. 1992, goaltender Manon Riome becomes the first woman to play in pro hockey. She was a goaltender. And 13th of December 2011, Al Gore conceded defeat to George W. Bush. Weeks of legal battles over recounting of votes in Florida created the delay in a winner in that hotly contested presidential race. It is Ted Nugent's birthday today. Terrible two-chord Ted. Happy birthday. It's Skunk Baxter's birthday today. Skunk Baxter was probably most known for his part in Steely Dan, at least their first 3 albums. But he played with so many other musicians. Bryan Adams, Eric Clapton, Joni Mitchell, Dolly Parton, Ringo Starr, Gene Simmons, Rod Stewart. The list is long. Jamie Foxx's birthday is today. And guess what? Whose birthday it is today? It's Taylor Swift's birthday. Happy birthday, Tay. 1962, Elvis Presley was at number 1 in the UK singles chart with Return to Sender. Teletubbies, 1997. The characters of the Teletubbies went to number 1 on the UK singles chart with Teletubbies Say Eh Oh. It spent 32 weeks on the chart. Now, my daughter was born in 1997, and her favorite thing on TV was the Tubbies. Never quite got it. Very strange. Very different. Very different. And that's going to be about it for the recap today. It's always fun to kind of think about what happened in history. I think Skunk was the reeling in the years solo, and everybody I think would be able to be able to kind of air guitar and mouth that solo. Very, very well-known guitar solo. Devontae, it's good to see you. Anthony, size kills. Size kills. Yep. Glitter Sandwich, do you feel like the Financial Juice Tick Stream is worth the price? I haven't paid for it. I listen to it. I have it running sometimes. It creates a little bit of anxiety in me. The one thing I do like about it is if the market's directional. Let's say we've got a strong rally going, and I'm trying to find a way to get into the rally. So you're going to have that high click on all the buying coming in as price continues to leak higher. When you get a pullback, you get the knock a few times. That tells me that all the people that just paid the high just got their stops hit, and that might be an interesting level to get into a long. Once those stops are hit, it's been 60%, if I'm thinking about right, successful in getting into a continuation into a market that's directional. I don't think I'm going to pay for it. There's probably other features on Financial Juice that might be interesting to actually pay for. But again, most of the time it just gives me anxiety. Even if I'm not in the market, I hear it. I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? So it's a little bit of a Pavlov's dog thing. You know, you hear that thing, you're like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? So, all right. It is free. The news is delayed unless you pay for it, but I think that there's other products that you'll be able to add the tick strike to if you wanted to. Right now, there's just, I think, a couple of products that you can use the tick strike with. I'm just trying to set the hook. I tried the audio, but I can't understand the English accent, so I didn't keep it. Well, all right, that's okay. All right, let's get some good rest tonight. We all got to be ready to probably sit around, hurry up, and wait for tomorrow. The numbers that we're waiting for, and most of the markets except for the EIA Petroleum Status Report, are going to be coming out 1 p.m. and 1:30. We'll be just coming into the Make Hogue Money at 2 o'clock. Once all that's over, maybe we'll find some decent opportunities. The market is still swinging for the fences. We'll check it out. Get some rest. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Say a prayer for world peace. I'll see you in the morning. Get some good rest tonight. Be ready for tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow at 7:45 for the market forecast. I'm going to get some good rest tonight. Kind of a fun, but what's the word I'm looking for? Fun, but not exhausting. Exhilarating? No. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll see you in the morning. Have a good night.